You are listening to Right Off the Bus.
Pat, we are back for episode number 33 of Right Off the Bus. I'm Chandler Hutchison. That's Pat Mahoney. We're excited, man. It's August 11th. A lot going on in the sports world. Olympics just came to an end. The NFL preseason starting, man. Soccer world's going crazy. But Pat, man, before we get into all that, what's going on with you, man? How was your weekend?
It was good, man. I was in Atlantic City, which is like on the way up, it was good. I drove from work and it was like 4.5 hours because I didn't hit traffic. And then on the way back, it was like 5.5. So it was an extra hour. Plus I had to drop someone off and then go another direction. So it was really a full 6, but it was fun. Friday night was fun. I mean, they got like multiple casinos out there. I can't say I'll ever go back in my life because I just don't need to drive that far to go to the casino. Right. But it was a fun time. It was for my brother. Saturday night was fun though. We went there. They had this place at one of the casinos, and it was like a DraftKings sports book, which is like they had like a bar and then just like pretty much like a theater of like all these screens with like a bunch of different sports. And then over on the side, they had sections, and like in each section you could like rent out if you wanted, or I think you could just sit there. But we rented one out for the fights on Saturday night for UFC. Was it 265? So we did that Saturday night. That was fun from like 8 to whatever it was, like 12:30. So we sat and rented an area, you know, got buckets of beers and we're watching the fights. So it was a good time. And I don't usually bet on the fights, but they had like little kiosks so that you could literally go up and like type in your bet. I was like, oh, I got to do that. And I did win a little bit. So it was fun.
There we go. That's awesome, man. That sounds like
a good time.
That sounds like a sports fan's dream. Just all those TVs,
yeah, that's what
a little private area.
I was like, I had the most fun doing that than like losing money at the casino. So I'd rather lose money betting on sports than losing it just putting it on a blackjack table or putting it on a roulette table. So I was much happier doing that on Saturday night. But it was a good night of fights. Cyril Gane beat Derek Lewis. I had bet on Cyril Gane. I knew. I had a feeling he was going to win. Lewis was like a plus 270 underdog. So I guess most people probably thought Gane was going to win, but Derek was fighting in his hometown. He's fighting in Houston. The belt was on the line. He had just come off like a huge knockout. So people thought he was going to do good. He didn't. I'm trying to think. Jose Aldo won. He looked great. He beat Pedro Munoz. Vicente Luque, he submitted Michael Chiesa in the first round. That was great too. I bet on Luque. Everyone got mad at me because they bet Chiesa and I bet Luque. So I faded them and I won. So I was the only one that won that one. But I thought it was a good main card. We were there for like some of the prelims, mostly main card. But it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, there were some good fights. And, you know, everyone likes watching the big one-punch power from Derek Lewis, but Gone much more technical. You know, you had mentioned that footwork's just unbelievable.
Yeah, what did Carter say? I forget what Carter said. I don't know if he said he was surprised or he said he could beat Ngannou or he couldn't beat Ngannou. I can't even remember, but
yeah, he said something about it. But man, the fact that Ngannou, you know, they wouldn't give him the extra couple months in the first place after what Stipe has like 2 fights over 2 years, you know, and it's
the division, the heavyweight division has been held up for a long time. So I guess it makes sense in part that they don't want to hold it up anymore. So they were just like, we're going to do whatever. And they had to strengthen up that card too, which worked out because the only other title fight that would have been on it was Amanda Nunes defending her belt.
Right.
And so they wanted to strengthen it. And then that fight ended up getting canceled. So I don't know what would have happened if they didn't book that. And now they have the heavyweight unification bout between Ngannou and Cyril Gane, which is going to be crazy. They used to be teammates, so that's going to be fun. So I always question what the UFC does in my mind, but then it ends up working out for the best. Like they really, they know what they're doing. Yeah. Everyone complains, but then when it comes down to it, like 6 months later, you're like, oh, that worked out exactly probably how they hoped. So Dana knows what he's doing.
Too many casuals like me being like, just give me Ngannou. I just want to see Ngannou.
Well, I mean, I definitely want to see Ngannou too, but
and with Nunes being taken off the card too, that one was a sucker punch.
Yeah, that sucked. But what are you up to, Chandler? What do you have going on?
Dude, not enough. I just wanted to take this time real quick to just say, you know, I apologize for our Apple listeners. You know, That's like almost half of our traffic, Pat, and the episode wasn't
Not
up for
good.
like 2.5 days. I was like, man, this is so, little few less listens on this last episode, but that's all right. I email Anchor, the distribution platform, and this dude sends me a whole list of nothing in the email, dude. Just like had to put in 400 words of saying nothing. And he
Yeah,
signed
Tony.
it. He signed it Tony with the little anchor emoji next to it, which just made me so mad. I sent it to you. I was like, I swear to God, if someone emails me with a little Apple next to their name, dude, when I reach out to Apple.
Yeah.
But luckily, Apple's too much of a conglomerate and they just like have it all automated and they have robots sending stuff back to you. So quick, easy, we fixed it. And can we get a review? Obviously not. Good customer service though. So apologizing for all the people that didn't get to listen to it or wanted to listen to it on Apple. There shouldn't be an issue with this one. But
I know you told me that and I was like, what the hell? I was like, I uploaded it the same way as every time, but I actually did mess up because I will just address that. When I edit the episodes and like obviously the time's different every week and I have to move things around on the timeline when I'm editing, and I left like one little thing, whatever, 10 minutes down the timeline, which so the episode was really like an hour and 10 minutes, but it was listed as an hour and 29. So that was my bad for actually. So yeah, it was like 19 minutes of silence. So hopefully when you heard the outro end, you just left and it wasn't that big a deal. But if you were driving and it was a pain in the ass, I'm sorry.
Imagine that someone just listened to like the 12 minutes of just absolute.
Yeah, they were like, why isn't the next podcast or song coming on? It's just, they got to the end and it just kept playing dead silence.
But it's all good, man. That should be no problem this week. And Pat, the other thing I just got to say, Brett will love listening to this, man. But my buddy Brett gets up at 4:30 every morning, hits the gym at 5 every morning, I think, except Sundays. Dude's crazy. He signed up for the same triathlon as me after hearing about it on this podcast. And now he's trying to get me to train with him. I keep telling him 5 a.m. is just too early, bro. It's too early, but I'm getting up tomorrow at 4:15. Be out the door by 4:30. We'll be at the gym by 5. That's man. Tough. So I'm not looking forward to it. We're going to do some biking, some swimming, and we're going to get ready for the triathlon, but I am not looking forward to it. I bought 3 energy drinks. It is not going to be an easy morning for me tomorrow.
No, I couldn't think of getting up that early. Certainly not to work out. Like it never, like if I had to get up for work, I mean, that's one thing and I'll do it because I have to, but getting up to work out willingly, like I don't even do that at 7:00 at night. So 4 a.m. doesn't sound great.
Man, I get up at 7:30 every day and I thought I was doing good.
I know I'm like 6:15 and it's even that's a struggle. So 4:15 willingly, no way. Not before work, definitely.
But Pat, we got to get into this episode, man, so that I can listen to it at 4:30 tomorrow morning on my drive. Looking forward to that. But Pat, why don't we do our one last Olympic medal count, man? Why don't you run us through?
I know. So the final medal count, and what was funny was when we were counting last week, I was like, is there even enough events that we're participating in that we could overpass or we could overcome China and have more gold in them? Because we were like 8 or 9 behind last week. It was
significant.
Yeah, if I remember correctly from last week. And we ended up with 39 gold to China's 38, which I was shocked at. So we got number 1 in gold. We also got number 1 in overall medals, which was 113. The first time I've counted the overall medals this entire time. We got 113 overall, 39 gold, first in both totals. China did get second in both totals with 88 and 38 gold. So yeah, that was second. And then the Russian Olympic Committee, which really shouldn't count, got 71 overall. So that was the third most overall, but they only got 20 gold, which I believe was the 5th overall with my top 5 here. Great Britain, 65 overall, 22 gold. So they were above ROC. And then Japan, 58 overall, but they were 3rd in gold. So they had 27 gold. So shout out the host country, Japan. Regardless of no fans, everyone showed up for the country and Japan got 27 gold, but USA reigned supreme. We got first in both. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. And obviously with the total count, man, the US came in first for gold, silver, and bronze, which was pretty cool. So they dominated through and through. And yeah, like you said, shout out Japan, man. One, they're nice at surfing.
Yeah,
I didn't know that was a thing.
I wouldn't have known that.
They're nice with it on the surfboard, dude. And they won the baseball in the Olympics too, which
Yep.
they beat the US 2-0 in the gold medal game. And again, there's no pros playing over there, man. It's all college players, it's all prospects. And again, like Shohei Ohtani's not going and playing for Japan, so it's not their best team either. But it's one of those things where I'm just going to use it as an excuse. Yeah, we got silver, but I'm gonna just say, hey, our boys weren't there, so I'm gonna use that as an excuse. But great to see, man. This is awesome.
It's crazy that was another gold game that we were in, because
Yeah.
we've racked up golds in the last week. I think it was in basketball. We got men's basketball, women's basketball, and women's 3v3 basketball.
Just
So we got
weird.
3 gold medals in like every basketball category. It is kind of cool. I hope they had the men's too, because I know we have the like the new 3v3 leagues over here, even though it's not, it's almost just like pickup, but I like it. They have, I mean, we've talked about it. They have a bunch of other weird sports. If they have what, air rifle or whatever it's called, they might as well have 3v3 basketball.
Pat, I'm here trying to take sports out of the Olympics. I don't know if I can put any more in, man, but I am with you there. And I will say too, the US pulling up on the last day of the Olympics, like the final Sunday, that's when we go and take the lead.
Yep.
And it was like that made it all the much sweeter, dude, for winning all those golds.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of golds, did you see, so in the karate ones, it was for the gold medal match. The guy who ended up getting silver was leading whatever they have for points in karate. He was ahead, and he actually knocked the other guy out. But I guess in karate, at least in the Olympics, if not the sport, or at least in the Olympics, it's supposed to be like controlled striking, and you're really not supposed to knock people out. And so he ended up losing because he knocked the other guy out, and he got silver. So there were pictures, and it was like, this is your gold medalist in karate, and it's the guy on his back, like laying on his ground. He was like knocked out for over 10 seconds, and he won gold. So I don't get how karate works in that facet, but the guy who got knocked out won gold, which I thought was pretty funny. I guess it's supposed to be controlled striking. So the guy who got the knockout, I think he was all excited at first, but you could hear the announcers who know the sport, and they're like, oh, that's not good.
Dude, I had no idea about that. I have to watch that video. That's wild.
That's one for everyone to watch.
Now this makes me think that like mixed martial arts need to be in the UFC. I mean, in the Olympics, man.
That'd
be crazy.
Because for baseball and in soccer, it's all young guys and prospects. I mean, they could add MMA and then just do the same thing. Like, you don't necessarily need guys like John Jones, or for example, or someone like that. Anyone on the roster. You don't need like UFC guys going over to compete. You could do prospects all the same.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong there, man. Unfortunate that we're wrapping up the Olympics, but Pat, let's move on. A little NFL preseason officially started off with the Hall of Fame game between the Cowboys and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Not many starters playing. Not the stars aren't out there, but man, we're almost there, Pat. We are almost there. Yeah. We're about to become a football podcast again. Well,
American, I know it's been football. A while. We converted from football to basketball, and there's just that overlap. But I'm excited. NFL preseason itself is not exciting, but it just means that we're getting closer. And I see tweets that it's like from here till whatever February or something, there's no weeks without football, because we have NFL and college football starting up, whether it's preseason or not. But I'm excited because we got fantasy drafts. I got like 3 leagues we're doing this year. I got the one with you guys, with all the roommates. I got mine that I run with my friends. And then I got a work one now too, now that I'm employed. There's a work league. So I'm doing a work league too. So we got 3 different leagues I got to compete in.
Man, that takes a lot of time.
It does.
It takes a lot of time, especially trying to stay on top of that waiver wire, making sure you set all 3 lineups. You're going to be out here juggling, Pat. I wish you the best of luck, except in our league, of course.
Yeah, not in our league. And we still got to figure out payment and what we want to do. But it's part of it. I mean, I'm a fantasy guy, so preseason excites me.
Yeah, man, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Unfortunate already having some injuries. Hunter Henry, we got the Carson Wentz, Quentin Nelson, so it's already starting. But
Rashad Bateman at practice today.
Limping off the field.
Yep, he got hurt as well. So not good.
It's tough, man. It is tough. But let's move on, Pat. We got a little Summer League basketball to talk, and why? Because the last name is Ball.
Otherwise we wouldn't be.
LiAngelo Ball, man, the third Ball brother, technically the second, right? Second oldest.
Technically, yeah, technically the middle. Yeah.
Dude, he is looking pretty darn good for the Hornets Summer League team, man. Jordan and the
Yep.
team brought him in to play with LaMelo. Could he really make this team?
I kind of hope he does. He got 16 points the other night and made like 5 threes. He had a good game. I think he racked up 10 last night. Through a couple games. I mean, he's having a good showing.
Yeah, and sorry, go ahead.
No, I know. I just had to burp away from the mic. I hope he makes it. It'd be cool if he made a team. I would feel good for him. I don't hate the Balls like I did. I used to just get mad because when it was LeVar running things, and he was on like First Take, he was on Sports Center. He became like LeBron. Like it was all I heard was LeVar Ball and BBB, big baller brand. And then they had Ball in the Family, the show. I was like, this is too much. Like, this is Ball mania was not for me. So, but now LaMelo's balling. I like Lonzo. I would have been fine with him going to the C's, but he went to the Bulls. So for LiAngelo to make the team would be nice. And I really hope they don't keep calling him Jello because I kind of hate that name. Like it kind of made me mad when it's a Jello was balling like on the Sports Center tweet. I was like, what the hell is that? I was like, it's
not the best nickname. It's really not.
But they do so it'd be Mello and Jello playing on the Hornets together. So
yeah, it would be cool. And who's not rooting for the underdog story, the third brother? I mean, I'm rooting for him. Historic to have that many siblings in the league at the time. The Holidays have done it. The Plumleys have done it, but it is a serious feat, man. I'll just say here quickly, LeVar won. Like, man, everyone was talking about how, these kids aren't going to make it. LeVar's doing too much. He made them an international brand. Like, dude, LiAngelo Ball has Summer League highlights on ESPN, Sports Center, House of Highlights, Bleacher Report. We're talking about it on our small time podcast, man. Like LeVar won. That's my takeaway from this, dude. Like
you don't even see Cade Cunningham, the number 1 pick on Sports Center with Summer League highlights. Has he played yet?
I honestly don't even
I honestly don't know.
But
if he has, we probably wouldn't know about it because exactly like you said.
I haven't even seen Celtics Summer League highlights, and I follow 50 Celtics pages on multiple social platforms, man.
I think I saw one that our guy Adam Taylor had commented on, and that was it. I saw a nice like dish for a 3, and that was it. That was all I saw.
You see the comments, House of Jello, like all this stuff, man. It's what it is, man. All right, enough about that. Let's move on to some soccer, Pat. Jack Grealish to your Manchester City, 100 million pounds or whatever. Is it pounds over there? I think it's pounds.
It's pounds in England. Yeah.
But man, most expensive Premier League transfer ever. Only for a couple days, but we'll get to that in a second, man. Let's start. Jack Grealish to City. Pep got his guy. How you feeling, Pat?
I'm pumped because even before the City rumors started, I was like, I love this guy. Like I used to use him in FIFA. He's been at Villa forever, and he used to play for Republic of Ireland, which was like another reason I liked him because I'm Irish. So I always liked rooting for the Republic of Ireland, even though they're not good in soccer. So I was like, oh, they could be good one day. But now he went to play for England, and I get it because he was getting great minutes there, and he's great. And he plays in the Premier League, and now he's on Man City. So I'm happy to have him. He's a great player. It's just like a surplus at this point. We have so many guys and so many expensive players that I don't know what we're going to do with them. I remember we signed him and then people were like, what if they canceled the Grealish contract and then go after Messi because Messi was leaving Barcelona. I was like, I'd be heartbroken. I don't need Messi at this point. I don't need to pay him, what he's getting paid that we'll talk about. But I'm excited for the Grealish move. Definitely.
Yeah, man, big time move for Pep. I mean, you're adding one of the top young players in the world. I think he's only 24, 25. I mean, he's still so young, going to be entering his prime in a couple of years. This is just always sad when you see a club legend leave. Like, as young as he is, he's an Aston Villa legend. He led them from the Championship to the Premier League. They've invested a lot of money back into Villa to get them where they are. But man, like this guy was their captain. This guy was Villa through and through. So it's sad for Villa, but they're going to be all right with 100 million, man. They signed Leon Bailey. They signed Emi Buendia. Like that's
a great signing too, especially as a winger.
Yeah, and they signed Danny Ings from Southampton, man. And this was all before this deal. So now they have another 100 million to spend. We'll see what happens. But man, the rich just get richer with Manchester City. You win the league and you go spend 100 million on a top guy. This is what champions do, man.
Yeah, it's tough. And that's the thing. It's hard because you really just you have to outperform every expectation that's set on you in order to get anywhere financially in soccer. Like Leicester, they couldn't do much. They couldn't afford any big transfers. And then they won the Premier League and made the Champions League. And now all their guys, I mean, they have more big name guys than ever. So
Yeah.
but they had Harry Maguire and N'Golo Kante, Riyad Mahrez. They still do have Vardy, but all those big transfers. So good for Villa is the bottom line.
Yeah, man, it's true. Another big transfer. Romelu Lukaku moving from Inter back to Chelsea. Didn't get many games back in the day before moving to Everton, Man U, and Inter. But now Jack Grealish no longer the most expensive Premier League transfer.
No, it lasted Lukaku, 2 days?
Yeah, dude. Lukaku, 115 million pounds plus add-ons. This is crazy money. Serie A golden boot, Serie A winner with Inter, broke Juventus's 9-year streak. And this means to me, Timo Werner, goodbye. Tammy Abraham, goodbye. Good thing Giroud got out of there. But I mean, if I'm Chelsea, I'd low-key be salty as a fan that they didn't just spend another 30 mil for Haaland. I mean, Lukaku's 28. He's world class, but he's not that top couple tier. You know, he's still behind guys like Harry Kane, Ronaldo. There's still guys that are better.
Yeah.
And man, to break the transfer record for a 28-year-old, he's incredible. He's going to improve the team. He's going to dominate. But man, I just wanted Haaland to be at Chelsea for this kind of money.
Yeah, definitely. When you put it like that, it makes so much sense. I mean, you're already spending 115 million. Why not spend 140 for a guy who, I don't know how old Haaland is, but he's young. He's a young
21.
guy. Yeah, there you go. So 7 years younger for 30 million more. At that point, you might as well. And if you plan on dealing Werner too, which I would imagine they have to. I don't know if after COVID, if any, I'm surprised they could even afford this financially, 115 million. So maybe they're planning on getting rid of him. And I thought Werner was going to light it up there. So I hope it's not a bust again. And Lukaku's not one and done there. I can't picture him being, but because he just had a great year in Italy for Inter, which is like one of the best defensive leagues all around. So Italy always has great defense.
Yeah, man. And he's going to dominate no matter where he's playing. And we're being harsh. I mean, this guy just became the most expensive Prem transfer ever. He's going to be great. He's going to dominate.
I am being harsh.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens with Lukaku there. But now, Pat, the real story in soccer, dominating everything. Messi out of Barcelona. It just couldn't work out. Gave a really emotional goodbye. Could barely even say anything. He was crying the whole time. But now, man, he's landed in France today, Tuesday, as we recorded, even though all the fans were there the day before when he was still chilling in Barcelona. But, man, he's at PSG. This is crazy. I mean, he's joining Mbappe and Neymar and some phenomenal transfers like that have already happened. This team is going to be disgusting, Pat. Like, what's going through your mind?
My first thought is, are financial fair play regulations even a thing anymore? Because City got busted for that, and I feel like we didn't spend half of what PSG spend. I mean, I feel like they spend way more than us. So we'll go over the transfer window, which you have noted here. So they had Donnarumma, right? They just brought in Achraf Hakimi, who he was on Dortmund at one point. What did he come straight from?
He was at Inter last year, sold for 60 mil.
So Donnarumma, Jorginho Wijnaldum, Sergio Ramos from Real Madrid, and Messi. So all these guys they're bringing in, the amount of money they spent. We'll get into that again in a sec. Pat.
4 of these were free. They only paid for Hakimi. The other Donnarumma, Messi, Ramos, and Gini Wijnaldum all on free transfers. That's so crazy.
That is crazy. I don't know. I don't want to see Messi play in a PSG jersey at all. He's been at Barcelona for so long. I like seeing Ronaldo go other places, but I don't want to see Messi in a PSG jersey. Something about PSG just rubs me the wrong way, and I really don't want to see him play there. But I mean, for the money he got, like the contract, 53 million euros a year. I think, was it a 2-year deal? I don't know if you
2-year player option for 3.
Okay. And That's just over €1 million a week that he's making. He's making €1 million a week, which I would love to. I should have put this stat down, like what that is broken down into a game or like per minute, because it really gets crazy when you start breaking it down like that. You're like, oh, Messi's making this much a minute.
Yeah.
Because you look at some of the NBA guys. I mean, he's making $1 million a week. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is absolutely nuts. And I mean, that's what you get when you're the GOAT, dude, I guess. But I'm with you, man. You look at him in a PSG jersey, he's wearing number 30. Like, dude has been wearing the number 10 since he was like
ugly.
18 when Ronaldinho passed it on, man. And he was at Barca for 21 years. Got there when he was like 12 and a half or 13. End of an era. This is just the Tom Brady move now, the Ronaldo move. Like you said, Ronaldo makes sense. He's a brand. He's international. Messi did it all in the same place. Like it was special what he did. And this is crazy to see. But Pat, I think that this may be the greatest transfer window for a team ever. And I looked at Sam Ty, used to work for Bleacher Report. I looked at his top 5. It was like a year ago that he posted it, man. And the only one that I think is comparable is Real Madrid in 2009. They signed Ronaldo, Kaká, Benzema, and Xabi Alonso all in the same window. And obviously the success they had, Champions League win after Champions League win after Champions League win. But man, this is going to go down as maybe the greatest transfer window ever. 4 of them being free, that absolutely blows my mind. They only pay for Hakimi, but man, they got to win. They're going to dominate Ligue 1. It's not even going to be fun. It's not even going to be fair. Like Lyon won it this, oh no, not Lyon. Lille won it this year, breaking PSG's streak. But man, this is not going to be fair. You can rest these guys in Ligue 1. You only even play European football. But when I was looking at this, look at these 5 forwards they have, Pat. Neymar, Mbappe, Mauro Icardi, Messi, and Di Maria. What bottom of the barrel French team are they going to roll those 5 out against and just put in 13 goals?
Having Mauro Icardi there is almost just like completely an afterthought. I mean, he's such a great player, and you don't even. It's tough even throwing him in the same sentence as those other names. Like with Neymar and Messi back again together, but in France this time.
With Mbappe.
Yeah, with Mbappe too. Yeah.
What?
Well, I guess my financial fair play thing doesn't matter because 4 of them were free, as you just said. Right. I didn't even know that. So good for, I mean, that's just bargain hunting. Then they're just ultimate, ultimate extreme couponing. So it's essentially what PSG are doing now. They went from actually spending their money to just finding the best deals they can. So they hit a fire sale so it's good for them.
This is when you're running low on money in FIFA, man. You got to look for the transfers.
It's Champions League or bust now for them. Absolutely. And is Pochettino their coach?
Yep. It's all on him.
Yeah. I mean, if they don't win, let alone league, if they don't win league, I mean, he's gone, obviously. But if they don't win Champions League, that's
a triple is a must for them. A triple is a must. They have to win the league, the domestic cup, and Champions League. Like, there's no other option.
Yeah. They have like 3 of the top 15 players in the world today, and then their starting 11 is like 11 of the top 100 players today.
I'd even go with 3 of the top like 8 or like it's because
I was like trying to think off the top of my head where to put Mbappe and Neymar, but I mean they're absolutely top 10. Neymar's top 5, crazy. Yeah. Mbappe's top 10. It's an unreal roster.
Their depth is unbelievable now. We'll definitely keep some updates there, man, especially when it becomes Champions League time, because Messi's going to end up with 50 goals and 20 assists in Ligue 1, man. This is going to be nuts.
And even if you don't watch soccer, this is one you probably definitely heard about.
Yeah.
Regardless, Messi's international too. He's not the same brand as Ronaldo. Obviously, we're saying he's been at the same club, but when Messi moves somewhere, you know about it.
Messi's the GOAT, man. There's no question about that. And I mean, you talk about Messi, Suarez, Neymar. What about Messi, Mbappe, Neymar? I know they're all at different points in their career, and Suarez is a killer. But man, this is up there for the best attacking trio ever. And they haven't even played a game together yet. They haven't even had a training session yet. But this is nuts.
Yeah, when they play like express it. I'm trying to think about the teams they're gonna play. Like some of those bottom
Dude,
French teams, even if
oh
they
my,
play a team like Marseille or Monaco, I mean, they're gonna steamroll these
dominate.
teams. Steamroll.
Yeah, dude. What happens when they play RC Lens or Angers
Yeah, yeah.
SC, dude? It's gonna be
FC
9 goals.
Nantes or whatever. Nantes.
Oh,
I don't know how to pronounce it, but
oh my god. This is so crazy, man. We'll definitely keep updating on that as it comes. But Pat, you had it on here from a couple big contracts to another. Josh Allen signing that extension, man. 6 years, 258, 150 mil guaranteed, which honestly I feel like is like really good on the Bills part. I'm kind of surprised he didn't get more. I thought it would have been 200 or north. But
Mhm.
man, Josh Allen breaking the bank, dude. What's your reaction there?
That's kind of the biggest. That's the big story of this entire episode is just these huge contracts.
Yeah,
And I mean, we've got
right.
like 5 to go through. We already went through Messi, and I'm sure Jack Grealish is getting paid handsomely too. But
Wait till we get to the NBA.
yeah, Josh Allen 6-year extension, 258 million, 150 million guaranteed. That's, I mean, guaranteed. That's a lot to be guaranteed. No matter what happens, 150 million. But
Yeah.
then incentives, 258 million. Ridiculous. And he did have a great season. Great season. Good last season before that. He's getting better. Do I think he's worth this much? It's tough to say, but I think Baker Mayfield said this is good for all quarterbacks in the league.
Right.
It really is, because we probably need to see quarterbacks getting paid like this and not running backs, because the running back contracts have been out of hand since Todd Gurley. But the QBs definitely. I mean, it started with
Yeah.
Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar is probably next. But
Lamar and Baker are both from that draft, man.
yeah,
They're the two next. Get that money, get it
yeah,
going.
and they will. I think Baker will probably get paid too, regardless. So I think he'll have a good next season, but he'll probably get paid by the Browns. I don't see the Browns really wanting to hunt for their 30th quarterback in as many years. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, huge for Allen. Good for the Bills. They locked up their guy. Bills are going to be very good in the AFC East for a long time.
Yes, they are, man. And I love this kind of commitment from a franchise. With how the NFL works now, you have to pay the quarterbacks. It doesn't matter what they ask, you have to pay them. And they committed to their quarterback. They said, we're Buffalo. We're not a huge market. We are going to lock this guy in over $40 million a season. And now he's a Buffalo Bill for the next 7 years, I think, because this is an extension. And man, I love seeing a team commit to this guy. They're saying the keys to the kingdom are yours, and go out and make it happen. Do what Jim Kelly couldn't, become our best quarterback ever, become our best player ever. I love that kind of commitment from a franchise. And I think it's a sign of things to come, man. You're going to continue to see quarterbacks get paid like this. Who knows? In 4 years, when Trevor Lawrence is up for an extension, that might be a $300 million or a $350 million. This is the way the NFL is going. And I mean, you're going to complain about it, it's going to happen one way or another. No one wants to hear your complaints.
Yeah, the money's going to keep getting bigger and bigger. That's for sure.
Moving on in the NFL, man, 2021 Hall of Fame inductees, Pat, just to run through a couple. The first we'll go through quickly, Charles Woodson, man, absolute legend, playing safety, playing cornerback, anywhere you want him in a secondary, he's going to lock down. And Pat, I don't know if you know this, but I know it from working at a liquor store. He has a very popular wine. It's called Intercept.
I did not know that. I wouldn't have known that.
Nice label. It just says Intercept. What a perfect fit for an absolute legend.
Yeah, I like it.
Ever. Yeah,
I like
so
it.
Simple too.
Yeah,
it's
sleek design, I'm sure. Charles Woodson. Yeah, what a guy.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you see Troy Polamalu get in, another absolute legend at the position. Yep. And I mean, so many of these guys deserve to be there, and it's so nice to see them get recognized, get that gold jacket. What did you think about Charles Woodson?
Oh, I loved it. I mean, I don't know what else. I mean, I love Charles Woodson when he was playing. Other than that, I mean, getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, he certainly deserves it.
Yeah, I think he may be the last the last defensive player to win Heisman. I think he's the last one to ever win the Heisman, defensive player in college, man, which is pretty crazy up at Michigan.
Yeah, you probably won't see that ever again.
I don't think
there will ever be a defensive Heisman again.
Man, and going to wide receiver, Calvin Johnson, Megatron, maybe the most physically dominant wide receiver to ever play the game. Randy Moss, T.O. Calvin Johnson was different, retired early. Man, I remember doing anything I could to get Calvin Johnson on my team in Madden because he was such a cheat code. You see the pictures of 2 D-backs guarding him, 3 D-backs guarding him. I love seeing Calvin Johnson get in, even though he retired early. This dude could still be playing today.
I
He
know.
could still be playing.
And he would still be good. And the biggest crime of his entire career was being on the Lions for so long.
Yes.
Like, imagine if he was on a good team, he still would have been as dominant a receiver, but he would just have more wins on his record and possibly even a Super Bowl, depending on where he was. Because
He said
he brought that.
Aaron Rodgers tried to recruit him all the time when they would play Green Bay.
Yeah.
Imagine
Rodgers throwing to Calvin Johnson today. Imagine this year, Calvin Johnson was on the Packers. He would still be dominant. They'd have Devontae Adams and Megatron.
Oh, man. All-time great. In my opinion, Pat, the 4th best receiver of all time. If he played longer, he would have a chance to elevate that legacy. Jerry Rice is the GOAT at the position, in my opinion. Randy Moss is number 2, and Terrell Owens is number 3. Say what you want about him. Don't give me Chris Carter. Don't give me any of those other guys. I want T.O. as my number 3 and Megatron at number 4, man. I mean, he's that good.
Yeah, he's certainly in my top 5. He has to be. And that's with retiring early. Exactly. I mean, it's exactly like you said. If he had played longer, possibly even today, maybe being on his way out, I mean, his career would be just, it's already, I was going to say legendary. I mean, he's just got inducted into the Hall of Fame, but beyond can.
Yeah, man. I couldn't agree more, man. All right, last one here before we move on. Sorry these headlines are taking so long, folks, but we got a lot to talk about here. Peyton Manning inducted into the Hall of Fame, obviously one of the biggest gimmies all time in the Hall of Fame discussion. They said that the discussion around him took 13 seconds for like the Hall of Fame committee to vote on it. And people are like, okay, Brady's is going to take 12 then, because it's always a competition. But
yeah,
but
that's
man,
pretty good.
I think Peyton Manning, what a career. I don't love seeing like the locker or whatever, and you see all the Broncos gear. And it made me think Tom Brady's going to have Bucks gear. And it all goes back to Brady for me. But Peyton Manning, give him his props. I got him as 3rd best ever at the position. Just Montana and Brady ahead of him. Yeah, I mean, who's better than Peyton Manning? And also post-career, dude. This dude's funny. I like listening to him.
Yeah, I mean, just on a football basis, yeah, I would love to see the Indy gear in the locker, and I like to think of him as a Colt, but he did win that Super Bowl for the Broncos, and that was huge. But yeah, Peyton's an awesome guy, and it was funny. I forgot about it. It was an SNL skit that I saw come up on my timeline. I mean, half the things I reference are from my Twitter, but it was the skit of him like playing warm-ups with the kids, just absolutely nailing them with spirals. He's talking. I don't think I sent it, but I should go find it and I'll send it after. But yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that's a good one. You don't think of him as being a funny guy, but he is. He's got to be the funniest Manning brother.
I remember that ESPN like tour commercial where him and Eli are like walking and they're just like kicking each other in the legs as they're like getting this tour.
Yeah, that was another one. Yep.
It is funny.
Peyton's a funny guy.
He is, man. Absolutely special to see him get in. I mean, he invited Brady there. He invited some other people, dude. It was special to see. Shout out to all those Hall of Fame inductees, Pat, but we can only spend so much time on that. We got to get on to basketball. We just got to talk more big contracts, man.
Yeah, it's off season.
Getting into ball don't lie, dude. Luka, 5-year, $207 million supermax rookie extension with the Mavericks. Like we said about Trae Young with this deal, Pat, no brainer. I mean, give them everything you can. This is the max to the max to the max of what they were allowed to give them.
Yeah, the Mavs had to lock him down, and I'm happy to see him stay with the Mavericks. I love it.
Yeah, dude, and I'm sick of arguing with this dude on our Twitter account. Go follow the Right Off the Bus Twitter account at Right Off the Pod. But let's sorry, I just totally.
That was a good plug.
Yeah, no, I know, and I caught myself, but it is Right Off the Pod because some girl that took Right Off the Bus. She has been inactive for years. I got to figure out.
And she has the name we want. And
but I'm arguing with this bum dude. He's saying like, how can you say Jokic isn't better than Luka? And I'm like, man, Luka's the face, dude. He doesn't have nearly the help. Give him Jamal Murray, Michael Porter, Millsap. Like, dude, get out of here.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, man, one thing I really loved was Mark Cuban flying to Slovenia to hand deliver this contract. So not only Mark Cuban, but the new basketball president, Nico Harrison, goes. New coach Jason Kidd, assistant GM Michael Finley, director of health and performance Casey Smith. I don't know why they need to go. And then Dirk Nowitzki, excuse me, signs on as a personal advisor to Mark Cuban in the front office, man. They all go to his hometown, which I'm not going to pretend to even know how to pronounce, in Slovenia. And man, they deliver this. I thought that was a really cool gesture. That is saying we're family. Welcome us into your home, man. This is a partnership. They are pulling out all the stops for Luka. I love seeing the star players get treated like this. It's what they deserve, man.
Yeah, and leave it to Mark Cuban. I mean, all the other owners of the league could take a page out of Mark Cuban's book.
Yes,
he's a great owner. I think all the players like him. Like he's very involved with the team, much more involved, I think. And much, he goes down to that level as opposed to just staying in his office. And
right.
That's the kind of owner I would like for him to do this. And they brought Dirk too. And not only just to Slovenia, like they went to his hometown. So Luka got handed this probably in front of his family. Very cool. Very cool. $207 million. Unbelievable.
You know how happy his family was watching him sign that?
And yeah, I remember, I forget the population, but he said it during the Olympics because they were going to play for their first medal game ever for Slovenia. And he was saying, from a country of this many people, it's a low number. He's like, this is unbelievable. So a kid from that country to be doing this, making $207 million for the Mavericks, crazy. I'm sure never even thought of.
There's about 2.1 million people, a little bit less in Slovenia.
That's it. And I mean, how many people live in New York City? It's more than that. I can't put that number. I don't know that number off the top of my head either.
9 mil, I think. Yeah, and there's 18 mil in New York.
Yeah, it's probably 4 times at least what that is of the entire country of Slovenia. So
it is. Yeah, it's nuts.
One of a kind.
Absolutely, man. And speaking of one of a kind, the original basketball unicorn, Kevin Durant, 4-year, $198 million extension with the Nets. Well, he's playing in Japan, he's playing for the Olympic team. And Pat, I mean, Kevin Durant, same thing. Give him any money he wants. He gets almost $50 million a year. And and honestly, this is less than they could give him. But he doesn't want them to go all the way into the tax. He wants to keep Kyrie. He wants to keep Harden, man. Steph Curry signed for $215. If you don't think Kevin Durant can demand that kind of money, you're crazy. This is cool to see, man. Durant is in Brooklyn for a while, it seems.
I like to see that he's staying with the team. Who knows what his last contract will be, but I mean, if he runs out the full 4 years here, I don't know where he's going to be at in his career, if he's going to want to stick around after that. I mean, if he gets a ring in Brooklyn and he finishes out this 4 years, I'm not sure exactly how old he'll be, but I could see him retiring. I could easily see that. I'm very happy for him. I've loved Durant since the Texas days, since the Supersonics days, all the way to the OKC days. He's one of my favorite players. So I'm very happy for him and the Nets to lock him down.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's incredible. He's probably a top 10 to 15 player all time. He's that good, and I can't wait to see where the rest of his career goes. Moving on, Pat, Team USA, we mentioned Durant, wins the gold medal game over France, 87-82. And I mean, like you put it on here, Durant signs that extension hours before this game, and he dominates. He's the best player on the court, scores 29.
Yep. 21 in the first half, finishes with 29. And I put the U.S. in a great position against France. It wasn't without its hardships. France is a good team between Fournier, Gobert. I'm trying to think of Nick Batum. They have Nicholas Batum as well. France is a good team. And yeah, Durant, I don't know about you, but if I signed a contract for $200 million, I don't know what my motivation is to go out and play like the hardest I can. I mean, you've made it at that point. It's pride for country, but I'd be a little distracted, I think.
Understandably, man. And I got to tell you, this game, they only won by 5. It felt like they won by more than that. They were up like 8 to 12 points for most of the game after a little bit of a slow start. This was awesome to see. Draymond Green, hilarious on IG, posting everybody's like hater clips and everyone saying that they weren't going to win, all this stuff. I won my bet with my man Glenn. He had to buy me a 4-pack because we won gold.
That's right. I forgot about the bet.
which was nice. Dayglow vibes by Mass Landing. Delicious beer. But dude, everyone was hating on this team. There's no question that it's the best in the world, even without it being the A team. I mean, absolute domination. And I got to say, my biggest takeaway, because obviously I'm seeing this through a lens of the Celtics, Jason Tatum was the second best player on this Olympic team the entire tournament.
Yep.
And that is so cool to see. I think Jason Tatum is poised for such a massive year and gaining this experience, he was coming off the bench, but being the second best player on the gold medal Olympic basketball team with Kevin Durant saying this guy's next, man, special player. I mean, I can't wait to watch him this season.
Yeah, I mean, we're lucky to have him, right? We're lucky to have Tatum. I hope we hang on to Jalen too. And people were saying like they don't hang off the court, they don't hang out off the court, they're not friends, but they were out partying together, they're taking pictures together. So I think there's a good friendship there. I love to see it as a Celtics fan. I hope all New England listeners love it. Yeah.
Jalen takes the medal and he's running around the club showing everyone the gold medal, dude. He's wearing it like he won
yeah,
it,
right.
Posting
IG
around, stories. Like these guys are boys, man.
Yeah, it's good to see.
It.
I really hope we hang on to Jalen, but yeah, you're definitely right about Tatum. Absolutely.
All right, man. And then in the bronze medal game, Australia beat Slovenia, better team, but still a bit of a surprise. They win by 14. And Patty Mills, New York Knicks backup point guard, balling out, drops a 42 piece, man, to win Australia that bronze medal. You see him and Durant celebrating after the gold medal game. This was cool to see too.
Yeah, we were just talking last week about how that was a good move for the Knicks. I mean, the fact that they got Patty Mills and then he goes out and scores 42 for his country in a medal game. Awesome. Huge. I was sad that they beat Slovenia because I really wanted Luka to get a medal because that would have been Slovenia's first, I don't know about in all competitions, but at least first basketball medal. So I would have been happy for Luka and his country if they won, but hey, when Patty Mills scores 42, that's ridiculous. Scoring more than Durant, scoring more than anybody.
Yeah, man. And it reminds you just how ridiculously talented these guys are doing that for your country when you're a backup in the NBA. I mean, Isaiah Thomas isn't even on an NBA team right now, and he just put up 81 points at the crossover, the Seattle.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Let's just remember how good these guys are. Okay. Patty Mills, legend in Australia. This is pretty cool.
Ben Simmons is Australian, right? Like he chose not to play for them.
Yeah. He wanted to take the off season to work.
Yeah. So the fact that they medaled without Ben Simmons, awesome for them. And it's funny that you mentioned that because I saw just saying like how good NBA players are, even when you just like off the court, because I saw again from my timeline reference, my Twitter feed, it was Rondo and Ben Simmons working on their jumper and them hitting threes, like draining threes in the gym. And the tweet was like, it shows you how crazy NBA athletes are because even guys who have no jumper are in the gym just draining threes, just as long as it's not a game. I mean, they're all unbelievable.
If you let me warm up playing basketball, I can go hit 50% of my shots if I'm in an empty gym by myself. What do you think Ben Simmons or Kendrick Perkins or anyone that can't shoot is going to do? Yeah. They're going to hit 80% of their shots. They're pros, man. Put some respect on these people.
Well, yeah, because
they're the best in the world.
Yeah, then you got the best of the best, like Curry. There was that clip of him hitting however many threes it was in a row. I'm terrible with numbers. I can't remember the exact number, but just for example, it goes to show like these guys are unbelievable.
And Pat, the good news is I make up numbers and you say, you know what? I just don't know it. So I'm not going to say
I could make it up.
That's probably better than what I do.
And then I just make people look it up and fact check me.
Yeah.
That's what I could
do.
We need
a fact checker, man. We really do.
We need a Jamie. Yeah.
But man, so last piece of NBA news here. Got to touch on the Celtics. Celtics want to sign Dennis Schroeder, but the money's really hard to work out right now, Pat. So there's the mid-level exception and the mid-level like veteran exception, whatever. So you can make up to 9.5 million on this deal, but the Celtics don't want to use the full MLE on Schroeder. They want to use part of it. They're offering him like 5.4, 5.5, something like that. Schroeder wants the full thing. I don't know if I love this fit for the Celtics. If it's a one-year deal, I'm not that mad at it, but we do need a point guard, and Schroeder is very talented. It wouldn't be the worst thing for the Celtics.
No, I don't mind the move. I think he could fit in. yeah, I would have to see. I mean, it's not one of those things where I'm like, wow, that's a great move, and I know it's going to work right off the bat. It's something that we kind of have to test out and maybe take a chance on. So I kind of, at this point, I don't know who else we're going to sign, because all the guys that I think I wanted have gone elsewhere, like Rubio, Lonzo. So we still have Marcus Smart, but we do need a point guard. I'd be fine with giving Schroeder a chance, but I would hope that Schroeder would be willing to meet us somewhere in the middle. Like if we're doing whatever it was 5.9 and he wanted the full 9.5, I hope we could meet in the middle, like 7.5 or something like that. We'll have to see how it plays out, but I would be fine with having Schroeder for a year. And I think that was the one thing they agreed on, was that it was like a 1-year deal. Like Schroeder kind of wanted to be on the team and then get out and test free agency again and get a bigger deal. Because again, he turned down that Lakers deal.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we were kind of on the same page with that, the Celtics and Schroeder, is that it was a 1-year thing, see how it goes. Maybe we offer him a deal. I mean, if it goes really well, we could offer him a deal in the offseason.
I was about to say, Pat, he did want a player option on the second, but literally just came in as we speak 3 minutes ago. Free agent guard Dennis Schroeder agreed to a 1-year deal with the Boston Celtics. Woj bomb. I'm looking forward to it.
That was good timing.
Now that it happened, I think it's a great signing.
That was a good, wow. That was a great timing. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. That's a
Bleacher
live
Report
update.
just sent it in too.
I like that. I'm glad we caught that.
Yeah, solid point guard. It's funny, but my brain works in 2K overalls, and I'm like, all right, we got an 80 overall point guard. You know, that's pretty solid.
Sports games have ruined us, because I think the same thing. NFL, NBA, FIFA. I'm like, oh, this guy's like a 71 overall, potential like 86. He's only 19. You know, he's great. Sports games have ruined me too.
It's warped us, man. It's warped us. But Pat, let's get on to some listener questions. Always one of our favorite parts of the show. Man, Joe Hagan submitting, more impressive, the Bucks 2021 championship or the Raptors championship in 2019 with Kawhi? I'm going to go with the Bucks because they were healthy and the Suns were healthy. And Kawhi beat a Warriors team that didn't have Kevin Durant. Klay Thompson got hurt at times. I think Iggy was still there. Iggy got hurt, man. I think that because of the health and status of the Bucks and the Suns, I'm gonna go Bucks, because I think if Kevin Durant's out there, I don't really know if the Raptors are winning that championship.
Probably not. That's kind of funny. I was gonna say, my point was gonna be that, the Raptors won it. It's more impressive because they won and everyone was healthy, but I forgot that all that happened with the Warriors. This was, 2019. A lot's happened since then. All of COVID, I feel like, was an entire blur. So I don't even remember that finals, but I also think I was in Mexico when it was happening.
Oh, word.
so I really don't remember it, but I guess I'll go with the Bucks too. Yeah, because I wanted to go a different route with the Raptors, but that's a great point. Yeah, I don't think the Raptors win that, even with Kawhi. Even though it did have some great memories, like Kawhi's fadeaway against the Sixers. The Bucks, I think, have even greater memories. They were down 2-0 to the Suns, came all the way back, won 4 straight. To win 4 straight against the Suns, how the Suns were playing, I mean, the Suns had persevered through their own problems, made it all the way to the finals, and they looked very good. So for the Bucks to beat them, yeah, I'll go with the Bucks run.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it at all, man. I like the Bucks. You know how much I stand Giannis, so I'm here for it. Now, we had a question from Nick Latchney about Schroeder turning down 4-year, $84 million extension from the Lakers. This was during the season last year. Now he's settling for part of that mid-level exception. All right, Pat, he took the 5.9. It's 1 year, $5.9 million.
Wow. Okay.
I think that's really great value. And it doesn't keep us tied in long term. But man, thoughts on him turning down that mega deal and turning down 21 mil a year, and now he's getting paid 5.9. He's got to be feeling some type of way.
Yeah, Brad must have gave him one hell of a pitch to get him to take the 5 mil and to be able to do that. But he was probably just running out of options. I mean, summer league's in full swing. The season's, free agency did just start, but he must have seen that he wasn't going to get that huge contract he wanted. I bet he's willing to bet on himself that he could play well with the Celtics this year, and he could actually get that type of contract in the offseason. So he must have just been like, he must have thought to himself and maybe his agent that we're probably not going to get paid that amount, or the amount that we want. If you turn down that 84 mil, he's not going to get paid the amount he thinks he deserves. So he's going to take a chance, play this year. If he plays well for the Celtics and the Celtics make a run, that's going to look great for Dennis Schroeder, and he might actually get the money he wants. So I guess
Yeah.
he's going to take a chance on himself.
Yeah. No, I could definitely see that. And I mean, hey, you have no other choice, right? It's not like teams are knocking on his door offering
Yeah,
him a bunch of
but
money. So
I never would have turned down, what was it, 4 and 84? Is that
yeah,
4 years, 84 mil?
to
And then
play with
the
LeBron and
Lakers,
Anthony
yeah,
Davis.
and then the Lakers respond by going to get Westbrook this offseason. So there you go. They showed Schroeder what it didn't matter.
Yeah. No, absolutely, man. All right. From Brett, how good of an indicator of NBA success is solid summer league performances? Honestly, man, I don't know. I mean, you see some guys put on shows in the summer league, but I think that there's so much development. I think that people get rushed into this. These top kids are playing with guys that they're not actually going to play with. It is fun to see them in these systems. I love watching all the young guys play together. It's like watching a G League game. You're seeing a lot of guys fighting and scrapping to
I
make
like
the
it.
roster, and it's high intensity. But I don't know if summer league success is necessarily an indicator for NBA success.
Yeah, it can be a flash in a pan type thing. Like, who knows if, just because we were talking about it earlier, if LiAngelo dropping 16 in this first game is going to translate to him, well, even getting signed, but if he does get signed, scoring 16 against, another team in the East, is he going to score 16 against the Heat with Jimmy Butler and, and company? Probably not. Maybe. I might be doubting Jello, but
Who knows?
I agree with you. I think it's mostly a flash in a pan thing, but it's just for the development. It's just to get a feel for the season. I like it. I like that the guys who don't usually play get the full playing time, and especially for the Celtics.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the Celtics are playing the Nuggets tonight, I believe, after we record. We're going to see Bol out there doing his thing. But
Nice.
we got another question from Latch. Who wins the QB battle in Indianapolis to replace Carson Wentz? Jake Eason or Sam Ellinger, if that's how you say it, Ellinger. I'm going to Eason just because he's the one taking the reps right now. He's starting the next preseason game, or their preseason game. So I'm going to Eason just based off of the fact that it seems like he's number one on the depth chart as we speak.
I honestly couldn't even tell you because I don't know either of these guys, but if he's taking the reps, I like that for him. But there's a lot of QB battles going on right now. Like, I've seen in New England, I've seen video out of New England, Cam Newton slinging the ball in practice. So he might get QB1 over Mac Jones. Mac Jones might be in the development spot, which wouldn't be a bad thing for him. But then you got Garoppolo and Trey Lance. I mean, you got QB battles all over the place. So this one, I have no idea, but I'll take your word for it.
They should bring Phillip Rivers back for 12 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean,
they need Jacoby Brissett back. That's what they.
I'm a big Jacoby Brissett fan, man. Josh McDaniels could do some things with that guy.
He did.
All right. Well, we will both rock with Eason there for now. Another question from Brett. Is it just me, or is Tampa Tom way more fun than New England Tom? It sucks to say, man, but he's out living his life, doing his thing, and not caring what anyone has to say or think. And, you're in that Belichick system. Things get hushed, I mean, people are going to be a different version of themselves. Tom's doing his thing now. Let's not act like he wasn't already an international brand and superstar beforehand. You're just seeing a little bit more because you're scrolling on TikTok more, dude. He's having fun, but let's not act like he didn't have fun winning Super Bowls all the time for 20 straight years,
Yeah, I think these guys will tell you winning is fun. But I will say, I think most of these guys probably have more fun personally when they leave New England or when they're not there, because I've heard that New England's not a fun place to play and it's very strict, but it gets the job done. I mean, they won unprecedentedly, more than anyone's ever won in the sport or even in general. So Bill's got a formula, Kraft's got a formula. It works. It might not be the most fun way to play, but it is a job. They're getting paid to go play football to win. So Tampa is probably more fun than New England, but there's a reason.
Yeah, you rather be in Tampa Bay in 85-degree weather all the time, or in Foxborough when it's 29 degrees and raining and you're 35 minutes from Boston.
I think Bruce Arians a little more loosey-goosey than Belichick is.
I hear that, man. Another one from Brett. We got two interesting ones to round it out here, Pat. We got this one from Brett. King Kong versus the Black Dragon from Game of Thrones. So is that Drogon? I think that's Drogon.
Yeah, is he talking about probably the main one? I think Drogon was the biggest one.
Yeah. So, I mean, dude, I'm just trying to put these to scale. Like, is King Kong way bigger? I feel like King Kong is way bigger than the dragon from Game of Thrones.
He is. It really depends because it's like they change his size throughout movies. Like if
Oh,
you
that's
saw the most
true.
recent one, like Kong versus Godzilla,
Yeah.
they made him like almost the same size as Godzilla, where typically he's not as big as Godzilla is. But
He's like as tall as the antenna on the Empire State Building, you know?
see, I'm
I
gonna go.
don't know
I
how tall.
think because King Kong did well. I could almost just did spoilers, but I would Judging off the performance in that movie, I would say King Kong beats Black Dragon. If you haven't seen Kong vs. Zilla, I won't spoil it for you. I could
That
have
movie
said
came out like a
spoilers.
year ago. I think you're good, man.
I don't know. There haven't been many movies at all because of COVID. Someone might
That's
want to
true.
watch it.
That's true.
Someone might want to watch it. I'm not gonna ruin it.
That's true, man. All right, yeah, I don't know, dude.
I'll go King Kong.
I'm kind of rocking with King Kong because I feel like he's just way larger, and if you can slap fighter planes out of the sky, I feel like you could smack a dragon coming at you.
Yeah, the only reason.
You know?
Yeah, the only reason like Godzilla has the laser beam thing, like
Yeah.
the nuclear beam. So this guy, the Black Dragon breathes fire. It's like, wow, it's not as much as
Sick.
it's not as much as a nuclear beam that's gonna absolutely blast through you. So I think King Kong would pick something up with his opposable thumbs and probably hit the dragon right out of the sky. So I'm gonna go King Kong.
It all comes down to the thumbs. But
It's come down to thumbs on this podcast before. I've done it before. my silverback gorilla. So
I will say, I think that if they were a similar size, I would go dragon, but I feel like King Kong is just massive compared to the dragon.
Even if we scaled it up to the same size, I still take Kong.
No, that's a debate, but we'll get on to this next one. I don't know how to answer this question either, Pat. Our man Justin True that we had on a couple weeks ago. Love that he continues to engage with the pod. We appreciate it, Justin.
I do love it.
But man, Justin, I don't know where you come up with this. He just did like a 90-minute swim and like a 31-mile bike ride, so he's probably a little tired. But who could kick through more concrete blocks, Cristiano Ronaldo or Zion Williamson?
Yeah, and these are definitely thoughts you have when you're tired and you're like a little bit loopy. Like, thanks,
little
Justin.
Oxygen deprived.
Thanks, Justin. I'm not sure if either of them could kick through a concrete block, to be honest, because I guess Ronaldo, because he's more used to kicking things and getting slide tackled in his shins. His shins are probably more conditioned. I think a UFC fighter would have a better time than either of these guys because their shins are really conditioned. Tony Ferguson, but I'll go Ronaldo. I think Zion would probably get injured pretty quickly. I would say Ronaldo.
Yeah, like Zion definitely has 100 pounds and maybe like 5 to 6 inch advantage here, but I'm not sure that those help. And I feel like Ronaldo, I feel like you've seen that dude's quads. You've seen that dude's calves. Like that dude is ripped out of his mind. I feel like he has as much kicking power as anyone. So I'm probably gonna have to rock with Ronaldo here. And I would not mind watching this on ESPN the Ocho. I think we could make it happen.
We could. I think Justin could make it happen, aka Thor. How
many concrete blocks could Justin kick through? That's the real question.
That's what I do want to know that. But I would say, Ronaldo does not skip leg day, whereas Zion, I could see skipping leg day every once in a while. So just based off that, if I simplify it, I'll go Ronaldo.
Yeah, especially Zion's got that little hitch in his giddy up, man. He got a little limp going on here and there. So
blowing out his shoes. So
all right, Pat, man, time to round out the show. But before we get on to what we've learned to wrap up, we got to get an ad in from Book Thinkers. So if you read personal development books, you got to check out Book Thinkers. This company is helping people to fulfill their life through books every single day, man. It's their absolute dedication. And every day on Instagram, they're posting. They have top authors on their podcast every single week. My brother who runs this just interviewed Patrick Mahomes' agent because he has written some books. So talking to the man that just signed that $500 million deal for Pat Mahomes and set it up, pretty cool. So go check out that podcast. But man, you're going to discover so many new books, new mentors, and you're going to achieve more and live better in this life. And that right book can absolutely change your life if you read at the right time. So please find out more by heading over to Instagram and typing in Book Thinkers, or go over to www.bookthinkers.com, Pat. Now, Pat, let's move on to what we've learned. What have we learned this week, man?
Mine, as I alluded to earlier, we got the Josh Allen contract, which I'll just go back up to here. 6-year extension, 258 million, 150 million guaranteed. Lamar Jackson is negotiating a second contract without an agent. He's just doing it by himself. And obviously it's, the big question is how much do you ask for? Well, I think Josh Allen made it pretty easy for him because I think they've had, obviously Lamar had the MVP season, but if you go to their stats, I mean, they're not, besides obviously Lamar's like rushing stats, they're pretty similar in a lot of things. Lamar obviously has the better rushing stats. I think Lamar has a little more in a couple categories. Allen's got a little more in a couple categories, but in terms of the caliber and like where they're at and what they bring to the team, I could just see Lamar asking for a similar amount. I think Allen kind of paved the way for Lamar, and Lamar deserves to get paid that type of contract. And if the Ravens want to keep him, they're going to have to do it. And I really hope we do, because that would just be stupid not to. Getting a quarterback's the most important thing you can do, and locking him down. I mean, you would rather spend the money on your quarterback than in any other position. So
I totally agree with you, man. And it's interesting because he's doing it without an agent. So I'm interested to see how those numbers come out, the guarantees, everything like that. But I said it earlier, you got to pay your quarterback. You got to say,
yeah,
come on home. You're our franchise. We're going to give you the keys to the kingdom. This is what you have to do. Now, I will say this, what happens in football is a player signs a deal and the next one says, I want to be the highest paid. Jalen Ramsey signs a deal. Xavier Howard is like, no, I'm the best. I need a new deal from the Dolphins. Gilmore is like, no, I'm the best. I need new money. Luke Kuechly signs one. So Bobby Wagner signs a bigger one. And now Darius Leonard has signed the biggest ever for an inside linebacker. So I would just caution Lamar to say you don't need 265 with 170 guaranteed. $250 million isn't bad. It's not
pretty
bad,
nice.
So maybe let's just
150 guaranteed. That's pretty nice. And that's the thing. He's not going to get screwed. Like, the Ravens aren't going to screw him. It's not dangerous to negotiate without your agent, I don't think. Maybe in another situation it might be, but I think with the Ravens, the relationship that they've built, and I think the Ravens are on the same page. I think everyone kind of knows what's going to happen. So if I see some major breakdown in talks and Lamar hates the Ravens, I'm going to be so mad. I hope we just pay the man. That's worst case scenario. Blows up in our face. He goes to the Washington football team. Something like that. But I don't think that's going to happen. I really hope not. Pay the man.
Pay the man, man. That would be worst case scenario. Hope Lamar's wearing the purple for a very long time. He just looks too good in those black jerseys, dude. The white number with the purple out. It just looks too good, man.
I got the purple jersey and the purple. Ooh, that thing is clean.
All right, Pat, man. What I learned this week, I gotta always talk about my weird endurance sports, man. And something new that just blew my mind. The Rich Roll podcast, one of my favorite podcasts. I listen to 2 episodes a week of it. Absolutely love it. He has Courtney DeWalter on, who is one of the top ultra runners in the world, Pat. And she's not one of those ultra runners that wins 100-mile races. She's one of the ultra runners that wins 200 and 240-mile races that take like 2-3 days. And she's just an absolute nut, so positive. But I learned about a new type of ultra marathon that I've never known about called backyard ultras. Now, the one she referenced is it's like literally in people's backyards. They're much smaller. They're not these big grand courses. It's a 4-mile loop. There's a 4-mile loop in the woods and a 2-mile out and back on the road. So you can run the road at night, a little safer. It's 4 miles. You have to do it at the top of every single hour. And the last person standing wins. There's no distance. It's last man standing running. She did over 67 laps. It was like 267 miles over like 3 days. And 4 miles, top of the hour, 4 miles. You get like 10 minutes to rest. You barely get to sleep. You barely get to eat. And she outlasted everyone, ran 267 miles over like 3 days. Just absolutely nuts.
And I feel like that'd be even more difficult doing it in one area like that, confined. Because at least if you're doing it, across a huge course, you're getting a big change in scenery constantly. But like, it's like thinking about if I ran on a treadmill for that many miles, like I'd probably go insane. So it's a little bit better, obviously, in a 4-mile stretch, but that's still not much in terms of 267 in a 4-mile stretch. I mean, I'm not prepared to do math right now, but that's a lot of 4. That's a lot of 4-mile stretches.
think it's 67. I think she did it 67 hours in a row, top of every hour, man.
Well, yeah, six times four would be 240. So
Man, it is. Yeah, and then what?
that'd be 24. So then 60. Yeah, so 60. Yeah, so she did it like 60 something times. 67 is probably accurate.
Absolutely nuts, dude. I didn't know backyard ultras, these loops were a thing, but I learned
That's
about
pretty
Courtney
cool.
DeWalter, and man, 267 miles over 67 hours. All the respect to her, something I could never even think about. It's
Nope.
different, man.
And I won't have to. I'm okay.
Right?
I'm okay with that.
Pat, how we feeling, man? We all good to wrap this show up?
Yeah, we're wrapping it up, man. It's not a lot going on in sports right now. It's the off season for like two of our major sports, NBA and football. Olympics ended, so everything's kind of in between. So there wasn't really any, sports game analysis, but there's a lot going on nonetheless. A lot of contracts, a lot of talks about contracts. Uh, Texans are playing in preseason. I don't think Deshaun Watson's with them. We're going to see where that case takes us. I don't know what's going to happen with them, if he's ever going to play it down with Houston again. So there's a lot going on. Hopefully a little more next week. I'm not really sure that there will be, but
hey man, we'll find something to talk about. There's always some drama going on in sports, and if nothing else, we'll talk about LiAngelo Ball.
Hopefully, yeah. We'll see how he's doing.
Or playing well.
Yep, he could be all over my Sports Center and yours this week. We'll see what happens.
But Pat, man, it's about 7:20 p.m. as we're recording this. This episode will be out tomorrow, and I got to get up soon, man. I know it's a while away, but I mean that's like 9 hours away. I got to be up and going.
Yeah, you actually have to go to bed pretty soon if you want to get 8 hours.
We're gonna have to wrap this thing up, man. So. As always, we appreciate the listens. We appreciate the interaction on all the socials, every like, comment, subscription. It means a lot to us. And, sending in listener questions and any sort of interaction. We appreciate you guys. We do not take your time for granted. The fact that you spend, an hour with us every single week is huge. And it's going to be on Apple Podcasts this week when we drop it at midnight. Yep. So, man, I hope everyone enjoys it. And
I will be a little more aggressive with the customer service if it's not up on Apple. So I'm really hoping it is.
Yeah, I swear to God, if I get one more anchor emoji sent,
we're not trying to talk to Tony this week, so we're really hoping that everything should be fine.
It's all good, man. Thank you again to all the listeners. Hope you enjoy episode 33 of Right Off the Bus, and we're out, man.
You are listening.
Thanks, guys.
Right Off the Bus.